So you have a client that occasionally likes to light up the doobie, and you're wondering which life insurance company may give that client non-tobacco ratings. Or you have a client that is maybe uninsurable from a long-term care insurance standpoint. You're wondering what insurance company on the life hybrid side may be appropriate for that client. Or you have a client that has a huge net worth and they're concerned about what's going to happen in 2026 with the estate tax exemption going down to roughly $6 million per person, and they have an estate tax issue. And maybe you want to recommend an irrevocable life insurance trust, but within that trust is housed a survivorship policy. Which company is best for that client? Folks, I'm going to go an inch deep and a mile wide here and talk about various scenarios and the respective companies that I would recommend looking at, because the goal here is to prime your pump so that you come back to me and say, Charlie, I have a situation. It sounds like you would suggest looking at this company. Let's run some illustrations. And by the way, folks, if I don't know the answer to your underwriting question, remember we have a full-time underwriter on staff that can help you shoot with a rifle versus a shotgun here. So, cheap term and cheap guaranteed universal life insurance, which kind of go hand in hand. Cheap term and cheap perm term, as I call it. Which companies are killing it today? Pacific Life is killing it in both areas, and Protective. Protective is always killing it in cheap term and cheap guaranteed universal life insurance. Now, I like Protective because they have the awesome chronic illness rider that you can attach to it for an extra price, but I digress. They're Protective as well as Pac Life are killing it with term and GUL. What about chewers? Chewers as well as marijuana smokers, the snuff, chewing tobacco, whatever we call it, and marijuana smokers getting non-tobacco rates possibly from the carrier. Lincoln is always the best in this category, but Prudential is usually very good as well. By the way, general underwriting, Prudential kills it. I think it has to do with their risk retention limits versus just sending everything out to reinsurance companies. They have more freedom because they retain a huge amount of the underwriting risk. That's what I believe makes Prudential so great at underwriting. But in general, Prudential is usually the company that's good for the hard to place cases. Okay, so you have a client, a survivorship life insurance policy situation. Client's concerned about passing on a giant estate that's taxable to their heirs. Which companies to look at for survivorship? Nationwide has a great IUL product that you can attach a no-lapse provision to it. And I tell you, in many cases, it is cheaper than just the plain vanilla survivorship product, non-IUL, that Prudential has. So we talked about Nationwide. We talked about Prudential from a survivorship standpoint, but also Securian. Securian has a great survivorship product as well. Whole life insurance, Mutual Trust as well as Lafayette. They have great accumulation-focused whole life policies, great paid-up addition rider capabilities. They also have great death benefit-focused whole life. What about death benefit-focused IUL? Hey, I don't want cash accumulation. I want maybe the opportunity to get a cheaper death benefit if my IUL performs. A cheaper death benefit than what I otherwise might be able to get with a GUL policy, assuming my IUL performs. Charlie, what are some good companies from a death benefit-focused IUL policy standpoint? Symetra has a great death benefit focused IUL, and Protective does as well. Protective has a great death benefit focused IUL. Long-term care insurance, whether it's qualified money, non-qualified money, the client is maybe slightly uninsurable. Who is the company that has basically every long-term care option under the sun, whether it's qualified money, non-qualified money, it's a big chunk lump sum that would go in, or ongoing lifetime pay, the client is unhealthy. Which company is it that is killing it in the long-term care space? Folks, it's OneAmerica. So I hope this kind of primed the pump here in a few-minute video. Give me a call, send me an email if you want me to run illustrations, or talk with our underwriter about your specific case.